Galina, you can go.
Okay. Dear patients, dear doctors, we are pleased to welcome you to today's webinar, which will be dedicated to the topic of measuring intraocular pressure in patients with congenital aniridia at home. A few years ago, a Finnish company, ICare Finland Oy, released the tonometer, which allowed to measure intraocular pressure at home for patients of any age, even newborn babies. I have such a tonometer at home with which I measure intraocular pressure of my daughter. Later, several models of this tonometer were released. Even the name changed. ICare One became ICare Home, but the essence of this device remains the same. Guest of our webinar today, who will tell us in detail how to use the ICare Home 2 tonometer at home, what are the advantages of such a measurement, and what are the features of working with it, is Kasperi Kankare. Let's begin. Word to you, Kasperi.
Thank you, Galina. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Kasperi Kankare, and I'm an area sales manager at ICare Finland Oy. At first, in my presentation, I will explain about our rebound technology in the tonometers. And so my point is ICare tonometer, easy, accurate, and comfortable tonometry for everyone. So, to start, I will want to start a little bit by explaining the technology evolution and story of tonometry. It all started in 1820s when the first tonometer, or more or less the first tonometer, was discovered by William Bowman, and he used his own finger to estimate the eye pressure by touching the surface of the eye and considering was it hard or soft. From this on, the technology developed a lot. From the mechanical tonometers that were used in the 19th century by Maklakov and von Graefe, and then in 1920s came the Schütz tonometer. By until 1950s, the Professor Goldman developed the Goldman applanation tonometer, which became the golden standard of tonometry, which is always referred as the reference point of the modern tonometers. They're compared to Goldman applanation tonometer, which afterwards of this I will use a shortening GAT, a GAT. In 1990s and after that came the AirPuff tonometer and tonopen, which are mechanical tonometers. And AirPuff is the most commonly used until ICare came to market. With ICare tonometer, in first model came year 2000, and ever since we have developed further on professional tonometers. Side by side are patient tonometers. And the first patient tonometer was called ICare One, then came ICare Home, and today I will focus most of my presentation to ICare Home 2, which is a tonometer that we launched approximately 9 months ago. So the technology itself is the core of our business. And first, before jumping to the technology, I will quickly explain you the little bit who ICare Finland is. ICare Finland and the developer of the technology was medical doctor Antti Kontiola, who was a Finnish doctor who invented the technology. Now ICare Finland is part of our Revenio Group, which is a stock-listed company in Helsinki Stock Exchange. The first ICare tonometer was a product was launched in 2003. Today we have sold more than 100,000 tonometers around the world. This includes professional tonometers, which is the most common business for us and most commonly sold for ophthalmologists and optometrists and other eye healthcare professionals around the world. We also have veterinary tonometers and tonometers for research, as well as tonometers that are designed for patients. We have distribution network that covers over 100 countries. Our technology is patented. Our quality systems are meet the ISO standards and other global quality standards. And we have certificates in Europe, USA, Japan, China, and more or less all the important countries around the world. Then I will explain the rebound technology. So the technology itself, we would consider, or we would say, it is the most advanced tonometry technology, since it's the latest technology that has introduced to the markets. It's really easy to use, it's portable, and using the tonometer usually needs a really short learning curve. The measurement is really quick, effectively and routinely barely notable by patient. It requires no topical anesthesia and no disinfections. Since the probes that are used in the tonometers are disposable and they touch the cornea very lightly. Rebound technology, which I now refer to RTB, is suitable for non-compliant patients and children especially. It can be used in cases where the eye has undergone a surgery, and it is suitable for scarred and sensitive corneas. Its accuracy has been proven, the technology now I'm talking here, in more than 100 independent studies. It correlates very well with the Goldman applanation tonometer. It also studies confirm it has a actually good repeatability compared to a non-contact tonometer. And one thing, it requires no calibration. About the technology measurement, I will show you soon a video in my presentation, but before that I will explain what happens in the video. The probe in the tonometer touches very gently to the cornea. The measurement takes 0.1 second. The corneal reflex happens after 0.2 seconds. So we can say that one measurement is faster than the human reflex. The measurement of motion, it measures different motion parameters, and the final result comes from 6 measurements to minimize the deviation and to produce calculated measurement value. The whole procedure of one measurement is 6 times in both eyes, and it takes about 1 minute, or the whole measurement process. And now I will show you the video. So there you saw, and this tonometer here is actually our first commercially produced tonometer model, TA01. But now I will jump to the main topic, which is the home tonometers, which are designed to be used by the patients or with assistance of the patient's caregiver. And about its features, accuracy, and ease of use. But before we go to the detail to the measurements, I want to mention that when you consider a home tonometer, before considering or acquiring one, please talk. You should talk this with your with your eye doctor, and about are you suitable to use it, since medical decision always should be done by together and under the approval of a medical doctor. So let's move forward. And so the ICare Home and Home 2 tonometers are based on the rebound technology. which we just earlier discussed about. It's easy to use, quick and accurate. It does not require no topical anesthesia or disinfection, and it's suitable for everyone. It has proven accuracy by several independent studies and requires no calibration and minimum maintenance. The measurement accuracy. ICare Home measurement results compared to Goldmann applanation tonometer. The reported mean difference between ICare Home and Goldmann applanation measurements range from minus 1.00 millimeters of mercury to 0.7 in 9 studies. One study gave a mean difference of minus 2.7 millimeters. So the change of the difference with Goldmann applanation is very small. The ICare Home measurements results are within 3 millimeters of the Goldmann value in 70%, 78 and 90% of the cases respectively according to the studies. Within 2 millimeters from the Goldmann applanation value, 68% according to the cases, and within 5 millimeters from the GAT values in 91% according to cases to the studies. Which I'm referring here, and I will, in the end of the presentation, there's a list of the studies. Ease of use. We have multiple studies that have looked by glaucoma patients, how they learn by themselves without assistance of another person to do the measurements, and they range between 73 to 100% depending on the studies. So, and from these studies there has been made questionnaires about the easiness of the measurement. 71% thought that self-tonometry is easy, 92% thought it was comfortable, and in a separate studies 84% thought the device was easy to use, and 95% thought that the measurement is comfortable. And the main topic of today, which I want to focus a little bit, is the new product of ICare Home 2. It's an ease of use and high accuracy, as we say, is combined in this device. Ease of use. The labeling materials enables self-learning. Healthcare professional can provide further guidance if needed. So the device is designed to be an easy to learn, to be used. It has good ergonomics, so it's easy to self-use or used with help of someone else. Most people will instinctively position the tonometer correctly on their face. A sturdy design helps to stabilize the tonometer. Clear and informative display. The showing of the IOP results, error messages, and further guidance can be seen on the color screen of the device. So, a big difference compared to the older generation of tonometers. With ICare Home 2s, it's possible the user can see the results after the measurement from the screen of the device. So, a little bit more details on the device. The new design to make the intraocular pressure easy for everyone. The freedom of position. The intraocular pressure measuring can be measured in different positions. It can be measured in horizontal position, half sitting, or even a supine position where the patient is lying face upwards. The intraocular data can be transferred via Bluetooth connection to a smartphone or with an ICare Patient 2 app. The intraocular pressure is also visible in the color screen of the device. The user interface is available in 30 languages. So most of the people in the world can use it with their native language. Intelligence position. It helps for the correct alignment of the tonometer. Guidance on the screen. So in the screen, it will explain what to do next. The probe base have a light rings, which also helps the positioning, and it has informative sounds. So people who have a low vision can still hear from the voices what to do next. So it has a forehead and cheek supports that makes it easy to adjust. It has a probe applicator that makes the insert of the probe very easy. And it has a permanent magnet that keeps the probe away in place even when the tonometer is powered off. Then, to explain a little bit more about the smart guide, which we considered an very important when self-used. So if you see a red light when you do the measurement in your vision field, it means your chin is too light and the tonometer too down, and the tonometer is incorrectly positioned. If you see a blue upward or downward and green in the other part, it means the probe not centered perpendicularly to the cornea. If you see green ring and blue ring, it means the probe is too far from the eye. And if you only see green, the tonometer is correctly positioned for you. Then we can go to the ICare Home 2 software, the softwares that can be used. I'm not going to talk a lot of these, since these are usually used by medical professionals, and with ICare Home tonometers, people can see the results by themselves, but it enables, if the doctor is interested to connect, they can connect via our cloud service for patients who are remotely located from the doctor's office. There is 3 softwares: ICare Clinic, ICare Patient 2, and ICare Export. So these software make it track the measurements easily. So the ICare Clinic stores the IOP data and provide enhanced reporting capabilities for the medical provider. ICare Clinic is a secure cloud-based solution that can be accessed with any web browser. Availability of the software depends on the country's legislation, but it is available in most of the EU countries today. Easily uploaded data. So if the data needs to be uploaded from the tonometer, it can be done with 2 applications, either by ICare Patient 2 app or ICare Export. ICare Patient 2 works in an iPhone, iPhone or Android system, either connected by Bluetooth or USB. ICare Export works in a PC, and it can be used with a USB cable with USB connection to download the data to the PC or transfer them to the ICare Clinic cloud. And same in the ICare Patient 2 app. It downloads the data to the cloud and stores there. So the ICare Clinic, just to explain shortly for the medical professionals, the ICare Clinic is a cloud software that stores and presents the intraocular pressure data. The clinic software enables long-term diurnal curve monitoring, new intraocular pressure data management tools, so you can compare different periods, easy ICare Home loan management if the medical provider wants to loan the devices that they have for the patients for a short term of time, and telemedicine capabilities. For example, the tool gives to monitor patients' intraocular fluctuations and changes before and after surgery, effect of medication, and remote intraocular pressure monitoring. And also, if there is a relationship where the patient wants to buy the tonometer and the doctor is interested to receive the data for telemedicine monitoring, the patient's own tonometer can be connected to the doctor's software. And if the patient changes doctor and the other doctor has our software as well, we can also reconnect it to the other caregiver's ICare Clinic software. It's browser-based, so you can access to the data with computer, tablet, or phone which has an internet connection. The ICare Clinic software is GDPR compliant. 2. It transfers the intraocular pressure data from ICare Home to a clinic software with a smartphone. The patient app, ICare Home users can fast and easily transfer the data from ICare Home to the cloud. Access to personal account in clinic to review their own results, and it therefore complies to full telemedicine features by transferring the data to the caregiver. And it's available in Google Play Store and App Stores. ICare Export. It transfers the data from ICare Home to clinic software or in an Excel sheet, which can be then stored to computer. And enables simple intraocular pressure data review in a computer. Unfortunately, only in Windows, not with a Mac operating system. It's a standalone software which is installed to the computer, and it's downloaded from the clinic software cloud or delivered by ICare via email. The ICare Home solution. Improve compliant, and this is for glaucoma patients, which we have a lot of data. It improved the compliance through patient involvement. When patients know their pressure, they also focus on taking their medication on time and correctly as the doctor has prescribed them. We have seen a long-term cost savings with proactive care, and ICare Home solution accompanies every step of glaucoma treatment. And as a final, I want to present few cases of importance of diurnal monitoring, diurnal intraocular pressure monitoring, which means 24-hour, because we have studies on this. So we know the intraocular pressure as a risk of factor in glaucoma. An early manifest glaucoma trial, glaucoma progression in patients with early glaucoma. 129 patients treated to reduce intraocular pressure, and 126 not treated to reduce intraocular pressure. Follow-up 6 years. The progression less frequent in treatment group of 45% than in control and occurred significantly later. The average intraocular pressure reduction was 5 millimeters. So when it's controlled, the treatment goes better. We know also that intraocular pressure peaks often occur outside of the office hours. Intraocular pressure peaks outside of the office hours have been reported in 69 and 52% of glaucoma patients in different studies. Also, a study made by Quadrat reported that 63% of the studied eyes had different daily intraocular patterns on different days. So by this, it's referred that the intraocular pressure can vary from day to day. These studies indicate that when performing only sporadic intraocular measurements during office hours, there is a high probability of missing important intraocular pressure peaks. And here we talk about glaucoma patients as an example. And these studies are made with cases of glaucoma. And in these cases also that 24-hour intraocular pressure monitoring results in changes in glaucoma management. Studies have shown that undertaking a frequent intraocular pressure monitoring often resolves changes in clinical management. 24-hour glaucoma monitoring resulted in a change in glaucoma treatment in 56 and 79% of patients in studies by Sud and Hugs respectively. And in the end, ICare Home tonometer, we say measure anywhere at any time accurately. And with ICare Home, the patients can easily measure their intraocular pressure during the normal daily routines. ICare Home tonometer provides long-term intraocular pressure monitoring, enabling glaucoma treatment based on their real data. And as Jamie Craig, professor at Flinders University in Adelaide, Australia, has said, ICare Home is a game changer the way we manage glaucoma. And finally, the benefits that our solution have brought in glaucoma patients, that ICare Home allows patients to measure intraocular pressure outside of the office hours. The healthcare professionals can for the first time see real long-term trends of the patient's intraocular pressure. The rebound technology allows intraocular pressure monitoring soon after surgery. And in glaucoma management, based on ample data, the smarter way to measure intraocular pressure. The diurnal intraocular pressure data enables doctors to make diagnosis based on more ample data. The intraocular pressure trending enables to see the effect of prescribed medication on intraocular pressure. The setting a correct glaucoma medication is easier. The data also may reveal the need of surgical operation. And these examples were in glaucoma, and here is the list of the references. Thank you. And if there is interest for people in finding a tonometer after you have consulted or asked your doctor, or if your doctor recommends such, you can find our distributors in our webpage, icareworld.com, or as I talk with the Aniridia organization, I'm also accepting emails that if people want to connect me by email and ask where they can find our distributor or partner, it's possible to send a direct email to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kasperi, for your very nice presentation. I think we understood now that the ICare Home 2 tonometer is a really good device that can be really helpful, especially in patients with congenital aniridia who already has a glaucoma, for example, because some patients, they need to manage intraocular pressure not monthly, but weekly and even daily. So this device can really help such a patients. Or some patients, they are living far away from their doctors. It can be also helpful for them. This device as well can help us in general to keep aniridic eye without surgery, because if we can monitor the intraocular pressure, that we can give in the right time some medication for the glaucoma. And also when doctor prescribe the drops, glaucoma drops, for example, for some patient, then to see if the drops working properly and putting the eye pressure down, the device can help us to see the movement of eye pressure. This what I can find the benefits of using this tonometer at home. But what we can understand, all of us, I just want to underline again, you said this in your presentation, any decision about using the ICare tonometer at home by patients or by parents, they're supposed to be taken only after discussion with the doctor ophthalmologist. And the management of intraocular pressure is supposed to be also with the doctor by sending data, by sending the results, and by discussion with the doctor about the medication. I think we can ask our digital team, Matteo, if we have a questions now from our auditory.
Yes, Galina, we have one question from our public, our audience, and this is that. So, Neven asks, are there any scientific studies that underlines the need of changing for medications or therapies after the use of the ICare tonometer?
We have few publications that are conducted with our tonometer, made by on medication. There is one from Israel. Then there is case studies and case presentation done by Ike Ahmed from Canada, where they have changed medication of glaucoma patients to a laser treatment when they have noticed the medication did not serve. They delivered the results. The peaks occurred with the patients still after the medication. There are studies on this topic.
Okay. And another
And
question.
there is, in my presentation, it was also referred, if I can go quickly back. There is the huge study of 24-hour published in Journal of Glaucoma, where they 54 and 76% of the patients who participated made some changes in their medication or glaucoma treatment in general after taking the diurnal curve, which means the intraocular pressure measurement at home.
Okay. Another question is there is an age from when patients can use the tonometer and under which is it impossible to use the tonometer?
That's something that it's I would say reflected on each case should be individually estimated by the doctor. If and it's a doctor's and patient it's a doctor's decisions to recommend the patient. Our device is generally designed to be used by adults, but we know that I know that in cases where the measurements have been conducted successfully, doctors have recommended the use of the tonometers even for young children. Precise ages I can't remember at the moment, but we have cases. And again, it's a doctor's decision on the treatment. And if the patient is able to successfully make a measurement with ICare Home tonometer, then the device can be used. But what we can say, our rebound tonometry technology is being used, and we have studies that recommend the use of it from infants to very, very old people. So it's a suitable, the technology is suitable for, let's say, all ages.
Yeah.
Okay. And another question is the tonometer has to be used just from the person who wants to know the measuration, or it's possible to be used also, for example, from a parent to the children?
Yes. It's possible to use by a parent or a third person. Or I've been in Finland, I know a case where the hospital gives the tonometer for glaucoma patients, but they always require that there is a caregiver with them who they train to use also. Because many very, very old people, it might be difficult to use. But it can be used by themselves or by caregiver.
Okay.
Which can be parent or sibling or other person who is trained to be used.
And are there advices or I don't know criticisms to know or to pay attention with in the usage of this device?
Criticism. I have to say what that might be meant. Let's say I'm now just replying in my perspective from my work view. I have heard very little criticism on the device. And again, the evaluation of the use of the device should be always done by the doctor, medical doctor.
Can I just notice something? Some people saying about nystagmus can be the reason to don't use this tonometer, because they are saying it's quite difficult with nystagmus. But from my experience, if it's not really big amplitude of nystagmus, so it's okay. And another point, I think you remember we were talking, Kasperi, about thickness of cornea. So with different thickness of cornea, it's also, this is why all the time we are talking about this device supposed to be used with the doctor's prescription. or like decisions supposed to be taken with the doctor, because only doctor knows what thickness of cornea you have. Can you use this tonometer? Or if you're using this tonometer, then because you have a thick cornea, you have to do some plus or some minus to the number of the result, what will be given by the tonometer. This is what we can notice, I think. Yes?
I could correct that a little bit, that the corneal thickness has a very small effect, but it's an effect that a doctor should take in recognition, but it's a very, very, very small, at least based on the study done by the Rosentreter in Germany.
Okay.
And on the nystagmus, that's actually a valid point. If there is a lot of uncontrolled movement of the eye, the measurement can become quite difficult. And this could be very frustrating and therefore make the use of the device even impossible.
Yeah. But this high amplitude of nystagmus, it's really rare. I mean, we don't have a lot of patients with congenital aniridia with a very, very high amplitude of nystagmus. So usually they can do it. You know, with a normal nystagmus, they can do it.
That's okay. Another question is that in terms of accessibility, you said before that a light alerts you when the tonometer is not in the right position. But in the most cases of patients with aniridia, there is some difficulties in seeing the light. So what they can do or how they can use the tonometer in the right way in this sense?
In such cases, I would personally recommend that there would be either a caregiver, if possible, or someone else that could help them to use the device. If the usage is impossible by themselves, as earlier mentioned, the use of the device can be assisted.
Another question always on this topic is so all the data that are catched by the tonometer will be sent in the app on the mobile phone. Is it right?
No. The data can be sent on the mobile app if it's wished to do so. The use of the ICare Home 2 does not require you to download the data to the ICare cloud or the app. You can view the intraocular pressure from the device itself. And if you want to store the data for your own personal use and not to share it to anyone, you can download it with the ICare export app to an Excel sheet and store it into your computer.
Okay. That's okay.
But we don't require that everyone would start, when you take use of the ICare Home, that you would have to store your data to the cloud. No, that's only for if the patient and the doctor wish to do so.
No, I think that the person were asking this because also in this sense, for a patient that is an impaired, a visually impaired person, yes, it's difficult to read the numbers. So
yes, then you can see it from the screen of the device, the result.
Okay, Galina. For the moment, we don't have other questions.
Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, maybe we have to just make some conclusion about the webinar, or maybe Barbara Polish, you would like to say something, our president of Aniridia Europe?
I think that you can go ahead.
So the conclusion, I think we have to repeat again that it's a really, really nice device, what can be really helpful in a life of patients with congenital aniridia. But the main idea, we always have to discuss with doctor ophthalmologist about each case if we can use this device or not. And then the management supposed to be also in a really good connection with the doctor ophthalmologist. So this is the main idea, but the device is really helpful and it's working with me because myself, I'm using this tonometer now like 9 years, and the doctor who was controlling them in the beginning, the eye pressure of my doctor it's a Barbara Kessman, so she was emailing with me all the time. I was sending all the data, like Kasperi said, I just downloaded it in my computer, and then I was sending a file, and then we were looking at the eye drops for high intraocular pressure working good or not. So it's working, but it's supposed to be only in a connection with your doctor ophthalmologist.
Yes, and I want to thank you for having an opportunity to present my presentation here. I hope that if there is a need of home tonometry, I hope that we can arrange you either demo trial through our distributors or through an Aniridia organization. And if there is any further questions, I think through Galina you can get my email address, and possibly we can see if we can organize some rental locations in future in Europe or through the national organizations.
Thank you, Kasperi. Sometimes patients and families, they are often asking about the price. But what I know that there is no special price for all Europe. In different countries, the price can be quite different. Is it true?
Yes, it's true, because the European Union, for example, the rules of value-added tax (VAT) can vary. In some countries, they are not included with medical devices. For example, in case of Finland, where the VAT is 25%, it's a significant change of the price if you have to pay that or not. But we are always at ICare, we have been open through the organizations to provide help for those who need, even with the tonometers. And we are always, if there is need from us to hear for more, we can always, I hope maybe in future with Aniridia Europe, we could organize some possibility to acquire for the members through the organization, if such is possible. But for time being, we recommend you to be in touch with our local distributors.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Kasperi. I think we can just finish for today. If there is no questions, Matteo, if you don't want to add anything.
No,
Matteo?
there is no question. Thanks for the presence of Kasperi, and thank to you, Galina.
Yeah, I just want to invite again everybody in the 6th Aniridia Europe conference, what will be between 3rd and 5th of June 2022 in Alicante, Spain. Hopefully a lot of people will join us in this conference. I wish for everybody good evening today, and thank you, Matteo, for your help, and thank you, dear Kasperi, for your beautiful presentation.
Thank you, Galina, and I wish good night to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.